All right, because I have work tomorrow, and because I thought the Goodreads Awards would drop early like they did last year, I am up very, very late on Monday to record my reactions to the Goodreads Choice Awards because I don't know. But here we are. I'm a little under a rock this year with new releases. I know some of them, I don't know a lot of them. I'm curious what I will recognize and what I don't recognize. This is mostly just me being curious. I have no idea. And you know, it's a popularity contest. It's based off what most people have gotten to read. I'm sure there are things like you must have above a 3.5 star rating and you could only be published in this time, but it's not going to be completely on every popular book's going to make it because they always like sort of massage the long list, and I have no idea how many rounds of voting there'll be or anything like that. I'm just going to share my screen and we're going to explore it all together and hopefully have a silly Tuesday in this really, really weird world. Okay, here we go. All right, here we are. So there looks like it's like last year. We have an opening round and a final round. It's going to be like 2 weeks for the first round because we have like 13 days left to vote for this thing for reasons that are beyond me. All right, so yeah, voting schedule is until like the week before Thanksgiving. And then we only get, I think, 1 week to vote final, and then the winners are announced December 5th. I'm not going to click on rules and eligibility. I'm pretty sure it's probably the same as it was last year. And if it's not, it's not. Like, whatever. This is all weird anyways. And categories-wise, we still have 3 nonfiction categories. We still no longer have a children's category. We have the 2 young adult categories. There's an audiobook category. That feels new. I think that's new. We still have debut novel, horror, science fiction, fantasy. We still have romantasy. We have romance, mystery thriller, historical fiction. So the big newest thing is audiobook, and I don't know if we've actually lost anything. I think the big loss was first round of voting and children's literature in the previous years, like middle grade and children's picture books and stuff. Which doesn't make sense because it's a marketing ploy, and why wouldn't you just want to market more books? I don't get it. It cannot take that much of your big Amazon server, but here we go. Let's just start with fiction and work our way through. And yeah, also I have been horrible at tracking anything on Goodreads this year, so like nothing's going to say that I've read it or anything. Wow, do I not know any of these covers? And this is how you can tell that Book of the Month has not been paying booktubers as much to like show books, because that's how I usually know about these. So yeah, scrolling through this. Oh, the Sally Rooney and Martyr. I know those two. I mean, I haven't read them, but I have seen them around, and obviously Leanne Moriarty, I think she's pretty popular. Richard Powers, he had the Tree book. I remember him. Oh, Wandering Star, that's actually a book that I have on my TBR, and I saw the new Louise Erdrich in public, and I like almost bought it, but I was already like buying too many books full price at the time, and it was like $40. I know it was a really expensive, heavy book. So it was tough, especially because like I own 20 unread Louise Erdrich books. But cool. I love that they're there. Elizabeth Strout was definitely like a Booker darling. And then, yeah, I don't know any of these. So the ones I know are the Louise Erdrich and the Tommy Orange. And I don't know which one I'll vote for. It's probably going to be the Tommy Orange if I read it. And it is on my TBR for the month, so who knows? That might be the one I vote for. Let us continue into historical fiction. James has been getting a lot of good buzz. I keep wanting to read James a little bit. We'll see. So far that's the one I know. Ooh, really under a rock this year, guys. Really don't know a lot. Oh, there's a Jodi Picoult. Always a Jodi Picoult. Wow. Oh, there's the Sylvia Moreno Garcia. The Seventh Veil of Salome. I don't actually know how to pronounce that, but I have heard good things. I didn't know it was historical fiction. Like, her works are typically historical, but sometimes they're historical genre, you know, like historical horror or something like that, or historical fantasy or science fiction. So yeah, I didn't know that one was straight historical. I still actually want to try her straight historical works. Is it The Chosen and the Beautiful? That's one I want to try by her, because she is very hit or miss for me, alas. The Kristen Hanna, The Woman. That's one that actually I've kind of wanted to read. Like, I've read one book by Kristen Hanna, and I did really find it immersive and transportive. I just haven't read any of her other works. So I recognize 3 of them. I have no idea what I'll vote for. Oh, in case you don't know, I vote for things. It's a popularity contest, so I vote for what I want to win in the world, and it never wins anyways, so what does it matter, you know? But I'm gonna vote, so I can complain. You see how that works? And people vote all the time if they haven't read books, so where am I to stand on principle? All right, next up, mystery thriller. There's going to be that one person who wrote that like 4 books here. Yeah, Richard Osman, We Solve Murders. And I want to read one of his books because I gave it to my grandma for Christmas last year. And she really liked it. And my mom's reading it. So I want to do that. So he might get my vote just because like he has brought joy to my family. Riley Sager. I feel like no one's liked Middle of the Night. But I never get the sense of who does and doesn't like Riley Sager. I don't know. Next up. I like this cover with the VHS tape. Home is Where the Bodies Are. That's fun. Everything else looks fairly generic with that normal I'm a thriller font, you know? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I watched Mara's predictions for the mystery thriller, so I have no idea if she was right about any of these. I know she's having a live show with Jess Owens later today, so I'm curious to watch it later and see, like, how correct her things were. Oh, there's Lucy Foley and the mystery guest. I feel like those are on the list. Yeah, so I think, honestly, the only one that I would really care to vote for is Richard Osman. So I can just throw that in there right now. You know, just throw it in there. Have a good time. Let's go to the next category. Oh, I've actually read something in this one. Look at me go. I actually might have read 2 things in this one. We'll see. Not in Love, which I liked more than the average person. Go figure. I don't know anything else. Oh, Tia Williams, though. I did read another book by her, 7 Days in June. So I do like her style, and I didn't know there was a new one, and I would probably want to try it out. The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. Is that the same one? Like, the people have been talking about this pumpkin spice book around. Maybe that's that author? Swift and Saddled. I've definitely seen that one around. This is what's weird to me. We have a romantasy category, and Bride is still here. Which means we really don't understand anything in terms of genres. We really don't. Like, we have romantasy, which is fantasy and romance together, which is what Bride is. And it is here. Probably the least favorite of the 3 romance books that I've read that are on this list. Because my favorite is Just for the Summer, and I'm 99% sure that's getting my vote. I don't even know what I could see. Funny Story is one I still want to read. I still want to read Emily Henry in general. Just haven't read her yet. So I'm just going to vote for Just for the Summer because, like, that was one of my favorite books of the year. Like, hands down. But wild to me that Bride is, like, in this category. Like, what's the point of anything? Okay. Oh, all these covers look the same. Ooh. I have not delved into romantasy yet in any meaningful way, other than, like, I read super popular ones, but I feel like we're still missing the formula that works. Like, I like ACOTAR and stuff. Like, I think, the blueprint of romantasy, but what we have gotten from it, I think it cares about the plot and world building more than I care about the plot and world building, and that's kind of a problem, right? But it's cute that the spell shop's here. I think that's a nice change of pace. I've seen a lot of people reviewing a lot of these books with mixed success. Like, When the Moon Hatched. Love it or hate it. That's what that book's been doing. And then House of Flame and Shadow has had such mid reviews that I don't know if I'll ever continue that series. Oh gosh, they all look the same. Feybound's had pretty mediocre reviews, and I didn't know it was considered romantasy, and it might not be because, again, these categories are like Bride should be here. Like, wild. Absolutely wild. So I think just for the sake of differences, and because I do love Sarah Beth Durst, and I actually started the spell shop, and I'll know I like it when I want to be cozy, and I'm this close to being cozy in my reading life again. I'm going to vote for the spell shop. It's not going to win, but that's what I'm going to do. Because who's going to win? Sarah J. Maas is going to win. Moving on. Oh, fantasy. Now, I probably should know more here, and I might have read a few. Like, I read The Tainted Cup. I liked it. I don't think I'll vote for it. I guess let's see what else is on this list. Voyage of the Damned, I've heard of, haven't read. I didn't want to read the sequel to Emily Wilde's, but I'm not shocked that it's here. I don't know what The Bright Sword is. I knew there was a new TJ Klune, so that's not shocking to me. The Foxwife. I thought that would be more magical realism, but I've heard good things. The Dead Cattails Assassins. I'm interested in it, but I'm always kind of hit or miss on P. Djeli Clark's works. I have no idea what the Book of Doors is. No idea. Song to Drown Rivers. Who wants to bet that's some sort of Greek or myth retelling book? That's what it looks like. That's what screams to me. An Academy for Liars. I feel like I've heard about it, but not, like, a lot. The Familiar, I DNF'd, because it was not very engaging. The Black Bird Oracle. No idea. 5 Broken Blades. I remember Leanna just reviewed it. Didn't like that. The Sweet Sting of Salt. What is that cover? Unsure. Warm Hands of Ghosts on my TBR for this month. Same as the Tommy Orange, so I'm already feeling like once I get some of my... I'm like finishing a bunch of trilogies this week, but maybe the next week I should be reading a bunch of these Goodreads winners that are already on my TBR. I did not realize there was another Empire of the Damned book that came out. Cool. Oh, my vote's going to be very easy. I just got to the last column. Or row. That's how that works. Row, not column. I don't know what the Lost Story is. I don't know The Night Ends with Fire. But A Sorceress Comes to Call. Yes, I will be voting for that. And then Win Among Crows by Veronica Roth. Nope. It's just going to be A Sorceress Comes to Call. So I've read 2 of them. And no, I'm not reading all of them like I did last year, especially with this type of list. No, but I will read Warm Hand of Ghosts because it's on my TBR. I'll at least give it a good shake. We'll see what happens. Okay, next up, science fiction, which really is just literary fiction with a little bit of science, as is normal. Yeah, that's what a lot of this looks like in this front row. The Ministry of Time, very mixed reviews. Some discussion on if it's plagiarized. I have no idea if that's true or not. I've just seen it around. Red Side Story. I think, is that a sequel to another book by that author? I feel like that author is known for a famous color-related story, and it was a standalone that never had a continuation, and this, based off its title, might be that. No idea what the blueprint is, or I cheerfully refuse. Like, this is, thank God we have other awards. And, like, that's the point of awards, right? But, like, this is never a good place for me to go to find science fiction that I've missed. And that's why I cover other awards on this channel. Sky Full of Elephants. No idea. Oh my god. Like, so many things I don't... Oh my... Orbital? Orbital. Oh, Orbital. I read that. I've read it. Goodness, I don't... And none of this. Ooh, Moon of the Turning Leaves, a sequel to Winter of the Crusted Snow or something. That was a very good apocalypse book. Very good. I might just vote for that on principle. Fascinating, The Stardust Grail. So last year, The Deep Sky was the first book, and that was on the Goodreads shortlist. And I actually have no idea why it thinks the sequel should be here. Because if there's no J.S. O'Corey, or whatever the name's, James S.A. Corey, we've missed the plot here in the sci-fi world. We've missed it. Okay, there they are. I'm just like, goodness gracious, like I haven't read it. But like, woo. So, The Mercy of Gods, that's their new release. That makes sense, it's here. We have the new Jeff Vandermeer, which is back where Annihilation takes place, which I haven't read. One day I'll read a Jeff Vandermeer. It'll happen. Wow. I think I'm just going to vote for this, Moon of the Turning Leaves, because I liked the first book. And wow, I've read way more science fiction this year than other things, but whatever. Maybe horror will save me. Horror's been the category I've been vibing with most, although I don't know how much new horror I've been reading. I feel like I've been reading more backlist. There's a Stephen King. Angel of Indian Lake, which will not win, but it probably will get my vote. I have no idea what these other ones are. Oh, there's I Was a Teenage Slasher, which I have not read yet. I would like to. I'm just kind of saving it. Ooh, What Feasts at Night will not be getting my vote, but I did enjoy my time with it. I bought A Sunny Place for Shady People. Have not read it, but I'm glad to see it here. Why is there always such a weird I book? I've heard amazing things about We Used to Live Here. That is a haunted house book that is on my list for the future. I feel like this has like a good range of like, if you are a horror reader and you've been missing out, some fun things that are in the genre. Like, I think this is the opposite of the science fiction half. I still need to read Chuck Tingle. Haven't done that yet. And I saw House of Bone and Rain in public, and I was like, ooh, you look pretty. But I was already buying 2 books at the time. One of them was River Solomon's, which is not here. I don't know if it would deserve to be here, but you know, sad days. So obviously, though, my vote, The Angel of Indian Lake. Because fantastic series. I have a series review. Oh my god. All right, up next, debut novel. Let us go. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. No, nothing in that top row. Oh, Martyr, I've seen around. We Used to Live Here, we just talked about. Oh, gosh. Everything's just so interesting. Huh. Well, I'm not going to vote for this one yet because I've seen nothing here that I care about. But if you want me to vote for one of these books, state your case in the comments below. Let's go to this new audiobook category, though. I wonder, is this just going to be, like, I don't even know. Okay, so it's going to be books we've seen before. We have Richard Osman. We have The Woman, we have James, Funny Story, that intermezzo, Just for the Summer. We have the T.J. Klune, Malcolm Gladwell. This is a fascinating list of genres. I have no idea how these are picked. Maybe I should look at, like, how they get here. Oh, I've wanted to listen to the 1984, like, Audible original because it's Andrew Garfield. And I have currently this year access to Audible, so I felt like that'd be like a good idea. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't listen to any of these on Audible, actually. Like, just for the summer, I read with my eyeballs. So, again, if you feel like any particular audiobook deserves my vote, sound off in the comments below. Oh, let's get ready to really know nothing. Young adult fantasy. There's The Tempest of Tea, right? Like, that came out this year? Did it come out this year? This year is a complete blur, if I'm being quite honest. Let's find out. Air by Sabaa Tahir, which I hear does spoil where characters left off in the first series, if you like know enough to be spoiled, and that means have you read the first book or two? Like, if you haven't read the quartet, you won't be spoiled because you don't know that you're being spoiled, I think. Regardless, I haven't read any Sabaa Tahir. Yeah. Oh, The Poisons We Drink. I think I recognize that cover. Dragon Fruit, that's a cover I recognize. Oh, The Ruthless Vows, so that's the sequel to the book that won last year, Divine Rivals. Did it win last year? I'm pretty sure it won last year. Oh, Skyward, The Defiant, the fourth book is here. I still haven't read it, or the third book. They're off camera down there to the left, staring at me in shame. Heartless Hunter, which I guess I didn't know was young adult for some reason. Wisteria, which is that Balladona. Gosh, I can't. Balladona. There it is. I think it's the third book? Second book? Yeah. You know, the covers are at least a little bit more unique than the romantasy section, so I will give it that. Young adult fiction, so this is usually more contemporary, so I really don't know anything, but let's just take a gander here. I like the cover for Where Sleeping Girls Lie. That looks like a fun little maybe horror situation there. Because I think you also get more mystery thriller young adult in this category. Oh, we have the new Heartstopper, which is probably going to do really well with the show, I assume. But I don't know anything. I don't know what the TikTok girlie's like, if I'm being honest. All right. And I guess we'll just briefly go through the other three categories, but like, really, what is there to see? The Anxious Generation. That sounds fun. Oh, The Message by Ta-Nehisi Coates, or Ta-Nehisi Coates? I might be pronouncing his name incorrectly, and I apologize. That's been getting a lot of buzz. I might vote for that one. Yep, nothing really interesting there. Memoir. Do I know any of you? Who are you here? The Third Gilmore Girl. It's fancy. Oh, we have Whoopi Goldberg. You know, I don't know if there's like an obvious one this year. Like, at least I can't tell an obvious one that's going to be like the winner. Like, I feel like the last couple years we've had memoirs and I'm like, oh, this is the memoir that's winning. Or like we had like Harry versus Britney Spears, you know? And like this one just feels very like, okay. And then history and biography, which like, why do we keep all three of these and like no children's books? Like, goodness. Like, it's Christmas. You want to buy books for kids for Christmas? This is all for marketing. It's all for marketing. People are just like not very smart. Oh, there's a new Eric Larson. He probably will do really well. People like him. Yep. So, just to recap, I have voted in mystery, thriller, romance, romantasy, fantasy, science fiction, and horror, but none of the other categories. I will vote in them eventually. If you want to have a say in how I vote, my vote is not viable, but I can be persuaded, especially if it's to help uplift a book that you really loved, that you think is an underdog, that you think is good representation that we don't see very often. Per usual, I don't think any of this is shocking. What's really just so disappointing all the time is the science fiction category. Like, it's not that hard. There's so much genre science fiction out there. Like, this is not, it's not rocket science, you know? Anyways, let me know what you think. Hope you can find this a little bit distracting, uplifting. Let me know if any of these are interesting to you and like you want to read them. I'm curious to watch a lot of the coverage of a lot of my people who like have different genres to like get a sense of, am I really missing something? Like, is this popular because like, yes, it is like a great form of its genre, or is it just like kind of, you know, commercial and, you know, palatable in that way? We'll see. But if you just want to leave an emoji to let me know you're here, oh, I don't know. Leave a book. Let's just be basic, right? And otherwise, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.